right? I mean, it's just absolutely insane. But there are so many stores. I mean, you saw that Trader Joe's that was completely open. It was barricades or just debris and putting them on the street. So as the line of officers continues to move in the eastward direction, they're trying to break up those lines as the officers approach here. So just sort of a standoff kind of situation here, and you wonder how long this will go on as the night continues.
Bob, as we continue to watch your picture here, this information from the mayor of Los Angeles, Eric Garcetti, says he's asking Governor Gavin Newsom to send 500 members of the National Guard to Los Angeles in response to scenes like this, where you have people throwing projectiles at law enforcement officers. If you heard the mayor speak earlier today, he talked about the law enforcement officers and his police officers and his concern for them. And as we saw some of them step back as a projectile was thrown towards them, Bob, I'm thinking too that these are sons and daughters and mothers and fathers and husbands and wives that are out there in uniform wanting to go home safely to their families tonight.
And Christine, just to add to what you were saying, Bill Maluzhin is reporting that the sheriff has asked for 1,000 National Guard soldiers, and that they are expected to arrive in Los Angeles with the next 4 to 5 hours. So they're in the process of gearing up, and that we should be seeing them, it sounds like, in the middle of the night tonight. Bob, go ahead.
And I've heard that being talked about, even talking to some protesters here, how you know, they're feeling a lot of pain too, because some of their loved ones, some of their relatives are, so to speak, on the other side, are officers. And I know we talked about over the years the differences in, you know, you've been talking about the LA riots from long ago. But the police department is a very different complexion than the police departments of years past. And if you really got a closer look at the line of police officers, it's a very diverse group of people. So you have families on both sides of this issue. And I know that we're talking about something that is systemic, something that is inherent, and that people want to have changed. But it is a really different dynamic that you're talking about here when you're having these people facing off each other, and some of them are actually people who might actually be related. It doesn't look like, as I said, at this point, that these protesters are going anywhere. One thing I will tell you, again, when people wake up tomorrow and they leave their homes, these streets will look nothing like they looked before. I mean, there's every wall, every building spray painted, every street spray painted, things damaged, destroyed. There could have been just a free-for-all for that. So for any number of stores that are here in this area, if there are no police around, it is just an absolute lawlessness.
And this reminds you of just how overstressed the police are, because on any normal night, if that was happening live on TV, there would be overwhelming force that would go to stop it. There just aren't enough officers right now to do that, because they have so many different problems all over the area right now.
And think about all the officers that they're going to need tomorrow. So from what I understand, some officers have been sent home. So some are protecting certain areas at night. And there's some strategy to try to get some of these looters, these people who are going around to areas and stealing. There's some strategy to get as many as they can, and yet there's still not enough law enforcement.
And Bob, you know what's striking here too? As you watch this, when you had your first shot, you could see that store had already been cleaned out. Yet still they found the back room to continue to go back. That one car, I think 2 guys went back 2 and 3 times to get stuff from the very back. Okay, hey folks, remember there's a curfew.
Yeah.
As people hear. Yeah.
Is that a child?
And look at these cars. Look at the cars. I honestly think there's probably a child in the back seat. Yes, but these are the cars. See how fast they're driving down. It's a young woman. It's a young woman. But you see there are people here who are out and about. And like I said, just driving. Some of them looky-loos, a lot of them just trying to cause trouble or trying to find a place to steal something. It's trying to find a place to open. And there are so many. Yeah. There are so many of these stores that are damaged. If there's no police around, they will just have at it. Yeah. They will have at it. There's nothing left inside this store.
It is now midnight. It is technically Sunday morning. I'm Alex Michelson with Christine Devine and Bob DeCastro out on the streets of the Fairfax district where there is active looting underway. And just some extraordinary pictures, Bob, all night long from you and photographer Tony Butita. But that perhaps was most extraordinary, watching the just blatant disregard for the law there. And it's interesting, we talked with some of the protesters earlier this week, and one of their demands, some of the protesters said, defund the police, let's not have a police force. But I think what we just saw there is what happens if you don't have a police force. And the way that certain people can take advantage of the situation.
Well, I think, too, there's the feeling of, I'm not going to get caught. They can't really see me. I've got a mask on or a hat on.
There's so much happening tonight.
There's so much. Yeah, even if they do get my plates, are they really going to come after me? Or maybe people aren't realizing that our camera was shooting their plates.
Right.
But yes, the thought of there's so many people out there on the streets. I'm just one of the many. I'm doing what everybody else is doing, quote.
So now I can get my pair of shoes from Champion, you know, and I'm not going to have to pay for it, or my cheesecake in Seattle, or whatever it is. This speaks to some larger issues, and it'll be interesting when we sort of examine this night, which obviously we will be doing for a long time to come, to examine and speak to some mental health experts about the psychology of people right now, the psychology of the mob, the desperation of people, and the thought that would make somebody get to the point where they're doing this tonight.
Well, I'm thinking back, if I can just remember some of the conversations from the 1992 riots and civil unrest. There was